if the Lakers pick up Daniel Gafford will be made unplayable by JJ Redick. JJ Redick does not want to play a player like Daniel Gafford. We had Trey Jameson. Trey Jameson, no, he's not as good as Daniel Gafford. But he served a purpose. He would have served a purpose in these playoffs. And he was not put on the roster by Rob Pelinka. And you got to believe Rob Pelinka went to JJ Redick and said, hey, who do you want on the playoff roster? It was not Trey Jameson. It was not Christian Coloco. Right? If that's the case, you know JJ Redick does not want to play a player like Daniel Gafford. With that being said, why are all the talking heads yelling Daniel Gafford? I was listening to Pete Zayas on Laker Film Room, and he's talking about how, the Lakers need to go pick up 2 big men. Right? You listen to Trevor Lane. You listen to Alan Sleewa. You listen to the Kamenetsky brothers, and they're all talking that crap. Right? Well, Dallas picked up Cooper Flagg. Therefore, the Lakers now have access to go make a trade for Daniel Gafford. Right? Wrong. There is no point. Well, there might be a point. If the Lakers pick up Daniel Gafford and pay enough money for him, JJ Redick will then be forced to play him. I'll tell you like that. Right? That is not the situation you want to put Daniel Gafford in. Don't put him in that situation. The Lakers are getting caught behind the style right now. They're chasing what the rest of the league is going to. And if you're the Lakers and you're chasing what the rest of the league is going to, you're behind by definition, but you're even further behind because 1, no one wants to help you. You're the Lakers. And 2, the Laker tax is real. Right? So, what the Lakers need to do is think outside of the box. They don't need Daniel Gafford. They need to do their homework and find the guy that is serviceable in the middle, right? Serviceable on defense as a position center, and he does what JJ Redick wants on offense. What JJ Redick wants on offense is someone who could stretch the floor, someone who could shoot threes. The dude has a hard-on for guys who could shoot threes. Then that's what you need to go find, right? Maxi Kleber was not a bad thought. As far as him remaining on the roster, as far as him having a role in a JJ Redick offense. It's not a bad thought. Right? But this is what you got to remember. In Game 4, when JJ Redick played 5 guys the whole second half, right? He effectively said that the rest of the team is unplayable. He put the blame for his lack of coaching on the rest of the team when he did that, right? And what it really comes down to is JJ Redick could not find a role for anybody else on the team. That's what it came down to. So what the Lakers need to do is they need to be ahead of the fad, right? They need to be ahead of what's going on. Their scouting department has to be the best scouting department in the NBA. And what I liken this to, and what the Lakers how the Lakers have been executing is this. I'm looking for a house right now, right? I have to find a house. But because of my circumstances, right? Because I didn't grow up around a bunch of money, right? I don't have anybody who's there to help me out. I don't have anybody who's there to just, give me half of a down payment or an entire down payment, right? Most of us don't. So over the course of the years, when I ran into trouble, when my, AC unit didn't work or I needed to get something fixed, I had to dip into, money I didn't want to touch. I never wanted to touch it. I was trying to be responsible, but life happens, right? So I find myself in a situation right now when I need to go get a house. That money that I had allotted for a thing such as this, I don't have it anymore. It's gone. Right? And that's the Lakers. The Lakers had Ivica Zubac, and they traded him for Mike Muscala, who was gone that year. As soon as a year ended, that dude was gone. Think about that. Think about what the value of Ivica Zubac. They had Alex Caruso, gone for nothing. They had Julius Randle. That's the one that pissed me off at the time and is really pissing me off now. Right? They had Julius Randle, and what they get for him? They let him go. They let him go right to New Orleans. Right? Look at him now. You know, so when you give away those assets, you think you're just giving away those assets now. No. You're giving away what you should have been able to parlay into something else in the future. So the Lakers right now, they're behind the 8 ball. Right? So the point I'm getting at is that in everything they're doing, they're operating behind the 8 ball. Right? And this whole thing with getting Daniel Gafford, you and I, we all know what happened. The Lakers watched the playoffs. They watched how big these other teams are. They watched the advantage the other teams had because they were so big. And now they're saying, oh, we need to get big too. That's what's happening right now. This whole push for Daniel Gafford. Yo, I like Daniel Gafford. He is very valuable as a position defender. Right? He takes up a lot of space in the middle. I get it. But Daniel Gafford is not the player J.J. Redick wants to play. And so you're talking about picking up a guy who, in time, J.J. Redick is going to ensure he's unplayable. And unplayable, all that means is that the coach don't want to play him. It doesn't mean he doesn't have value. It just means the coach don't see the value in playing a particular player. Which takes me back to Game 4, second half against Minnesota. You play 5 guys. Because for whatever reason, the coach did not see the value in playing the guys who got him there. So therefore, he deemed them unplayable. But that's just that coach. That's just J.J. Redick. So if the coach has that kind of pull, then what's the point of bringing in a guy who shot 0.0% from three-point range? We got to think bigger. We got to get ahead of this. We got to get ahead of where the fad is. Again, because if you're the Lakers and you're chasing a fad, just like they were when Golden State was hot and Golden State was running his death lineups and all these other lanes were using these terms, these death lineups, small ball, big, 3-and-D. They keep using all these terms, right? Ain't about all that. Lakers need to be the trailblazers. They need to chart their own way and make the rest of the league catch up to them. If the Lakers are trying to catch up with the rest of the league, then the Lakers are operating from behind. And they will always operate from behind. Because like I said, no one's trying to help the Lakers, and there is a Laker tax. So I don't understand this push for Daniel Gafford. You take a dude like Tristan Vukcevic, go back and watch my videos. I made many videos about him. That is the guy J.J. Redick wants to play. That's the guy. Go pay him. Don't pay the guy who J.J. Redick does not want to play. There's no point. You're wasting your time. The other thing is, you know, the fact that the Lakers are just not figuring this out. Like I heard Pete Zayas talking about, the Lakers should go get 2 bigs. It's like, dude, did you guys not see us win in the bubble? And you saw Pete Zayas, you saw Trevor Lane, you saw Alan Slewa, you saw all these guys go against what worked, right? We were the trailblazers as far as the 2 big man thing. And then we gave it up to go try to be like the Golden State Warriors. As if we had 3 of the best shooters in NBA history. We had JaVale McGee. We had Dwight Howard. We had Anthony Davis. And we had the middle on lock. And we were built for the playoffs. Instead, you watch the Lakers go and chase this fleeting fad that only one team in the NBA could accomplish, right? Because they had 3 of the best shooters ever. And the Lakers went and chased it like they could do it too. Won't work. So that's what this video is about. This video is about the Lakers go and get Daniel Gafford. J.J. Redick is going to make him unplayable at some point in time. That's what's going to happen. And I see no reason. And you're going to have to pay him. You're going to have to pay him. You want him. So you're going to have to pay him. 12 points, 7 rebounds on a 12 points and 7 rebounds a game. 21 minutes a game. You're going to have to pay him too much. Get ahead of the game, right? Develop your players. Develop Trey Jameson. The dude was serviceable, right? All Daniel Gafford is a serviceable big man. Is he good? Is he bad? No, he ain't bad. But he's just serviceable. So what are you flipping out for a serviceable big man that JJ Redick does not want to play? For a large portion of the season, Jackson Hayes looked serviceable. And JJ Redick found a reason not to play him. Right? I mean, even after the first half of Game 5 against Minnesota, when Rudy Gobert looked like Wilt Chamberlain, all JJ Redick had to do was say, hey man, I was wrong. You're coming in the second half. You're playing the second half. That's all he had to say to Jackson Hayes. Wouldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Decided not to do it. Right? So you have to look at who your coach is. And if your coach does not want to play a particular type of player or play a particular type of style, then why are you bringing in the player that is that guy that the coach don't want to play, that the coach sees no use for? We all know Daniel Gafford is good. He's good. He's a good player, right? But what is he with JJ Redick? Is that what JJ Redick wants? Because I'm telling you, in time, Daniel Gafford will be, quote unquote, unplayable. And it's not his fault. Just like when only 5 Lakers played in the second half of Game 4, it was not the players who did not play. It was not their fault. Those players are not unplayable. They are unplayable to JJ Redick. That's it. So, I'm watching and I'm listening to the podcast and everything, and I don't know what people are thinking. The addition of Daniel Gafford is going to help minimally, right? Because 1, Daniel Gafford is not that type of impact player. And 2, JJ Redick does not want to incorporate him into what JJ Redick wants to do, right? And 3, hey, like I said, Jackson Hayes was worth 20-20 in the series against Minnesota. How do we know that? Look at Game 5 when he didn't play. Right? I'm not saying Jackson Hayes is a 2020 player. I'm saying he was worth 20-20 when we played Minnesota. And that showed in Game 5 when he didn't play. That was not a coincidence that Rudy Gobert went for 27 and 24. And JJ Redick could not put his pride aside enough to say, hey man, we need you in the second half. You're going in. I know I said you weren't going to play. We need you. You're going in. He couldn't do it. So then what is Daniel Gafford going to do for us? Yo man, this team has got to start getting ahead of it. If they don't get ahead of it, they're going to have perpetual disappointment every year. When the Lakers won in the bubble, it was because LeBron James was 5 years younger. And Anthony Davis was 5 years younger. That's why they won in the bubble. Right? It wasn't because of Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka literally had to go and get the best of the rest. Because the initial plan did not go through. It wasn't because of Rob Pelinka. It was because he had LeBron James, who was 5 years younger, and Anthony Davis, who was 5 years younger. If the Lakers want to win, they're going to have to find go get Tristan Vukcevic. All you talking heads, shut the F up. Lakers, if anybody's listening to this, please keep pushing this cat's name. Go get Tristan Vukcevic. That's who JJ Redick wants. That's who he wants to play. 7 foot tall. He'd be the best 3-point shooter on the team. He is a serviceable big man in the middle on defense. And he is way more competent than any player we have in the middle on offense. Please go get Tristan Vukcevic. Do your homework. Stop being lazy. You have to get ahead of it if you're the Lakers. If you're not ahead of it, you are behind it. You will not. Being on par with the rest of the NBA is not acceptable. It's the Lakers. It's just not acceptable. No one is trying to help you. Everyone is trying to rip you off. You have to be ahead of it. Anyway, this is Pure Uncut Lakers. Please like and subscribe. I hope you notice that I don't talk around or have... Look, I agree with a lot of the talking heads, but when they're wrong, that's where I make my podcast. That's where I make my show. My show is on where they're wrong, because they often run with the same narratives, the same safe narratives. That's what they run with, right? It's almost like these whack ass, when mumble rap was hot. It's like all the rappers said, yo, if we all rap this way, then none of us will be corny. If we all rap this way, then none of us really have to work hard, right? No, you do have to work hard. And what you hear Pete Zayas, Laker Film Room, Trevor Lane, Sliwa Cameron. You hear them saying the same narratives about the same players over and over and over again. And it's like, yo, you guys are chasing what's going on right now. You guys are watching Cleveland, and you're watching Indiana, and you're watching Minnesota, and you see how big they are, and that the NBA playoffs go right back to the 80s and 90s and 2000s. Right? You see that, and now you want to chase the style. You need to get ahead of the style. If you're the Lakers and you're not ahead of the style, you're behind. All right, y'all, this is Pure Uncut Lakers. I'll check you later.